What's up, everybody? I'm back. Just watched UFC Brasilia. Well, actually, I didn't just watch it. It ended a few hours ago, but I've been taking in all this news and stuff. A lot of stuff going on in the UFC world. I'm a little bummed out because I'm a big Demian Maia fan, and he lost, and I didn't really like the way it went down. I personally think it was. I personally think it was a premature stoppage. Yeah, he got tagged, but I think if you look at the fight, if you look at the Damian Maya fight, now most people aren't gonna look at me. I'm a fucking Maya super fan, so I'm looking at it a certain kind of way. But if you look at the fight, he tags Maya, Maya goes to the ground, and when if you look at when Maya gets hit, Maya kind of like overreacts. I think Maya overreacted on purpose because he wanted Burns to attack him on the ground. He wants to fight on the ground. And so that was part of his strategy. When he got tagged, I'm not saying he didn't really get tagged. He really got tagged. But when he got tagged, Maya he did like a WWE flip flop and he fell down. And if you look at his face when he's on the ground, he's still cognizant. Like he's looking, he's still ready to fight. He's waiting for Burns to come down. Burns goes down and starts pounding him in the face real quick, and the referee stopped it. Now, if you look at the fight, as Burns went down to finish him, Maia is reaching for Burns' legs, so he was maneuvering position. If you've watched enough Damian Maia fights, you know that he's willing to take a few strikes while he's going for positions. And it's funny because I could have sworn they said that the referee's last name was Maia, and I could have sworn I heard that Damian Maia had a brother who was an MMA referee. So I actually thought that was his brother, but there has been no mention of it. Even Damian Maia didn't say that it was his brother. But I was for a second there, I thought it was his brother. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool because his brother isn't going to stop it prematurely. But it was just weird. I just have too much information in my head, I guess. But yeah, I was sad. I really wanted to see Damian Maia win because I don't want him to leave, man. But now it's official. He's leaving. He did a post-fight report. He seems happy. He's not upset. He's never been the kind of guy who, protests a fight or says that wasn't right. He's always been a class act, and he did protest at the and when they stopped it, he was like, "Why'd you stop it?" But he didn't make a big deal out of it. He was like, "Oh well, it is what it is. This is a game, and I do have one more fight, and that's it. I'm retiring." And interestingly enough, they asked him, who would you like to fight? And of course, again, he mentioned Diego Sanchez because both Diego Sanchez and Damian Maia have been mentioned in this fight for like the last 2 years. So he wants Diego Sanchez. Another name he dropped is Cowboy. He said he would like to fight Cowboy because they are both neck and neck for the record for the most wins in UFC history. And he said that he believes that fight would make a lot of sense too. And I never thought of that, but that's true. That'd be an interesting fight. Interestingly enough, though, uh, Charles Oliveira, won, who also fought tonight and won, he also called out Cowboy because Cowboy is ranked number 6 at lightweight. So that fight makes sense actually for both of them for different reasons. Um, I don't know, man. I just hope UFC gives Maia what he wants because this guy deserves it, man. First of all, he should have never been fighting Gilbert Burns. Damian Maia was ranked number 5. He climbed his way back to the top after getting dropped. He lost to Tyron Woodley in a title fight, which he only had about 4.5 weeks to prepare for because they didn't give him a proper camp. He lost to Kamaru Usman, who he took that fight on 3 weeks' notice because he was filling in for Santiago Ponzinibbio. So he fought Usman on 3 weeks' notice, and then he lost also to Colby Covington. And I have to say, Colby Covington probably did the best against him out of those three because Usman and Woodley they refused to engage with Maia. And as far as Colby Covington, he actually neutralized Maia by turning the whole fight into a boxing match. But my point was that he lost to 3 champions, two champions and an interim champion, and then he beat Lyman Good, And then he beat after he beat Lyman Good, he beat Ben Askren, and who else did he beat? He beat somebody else. He won like 3 fights in a row. Well, anyway, with those wins, he was able to climb back into the top 5. And then they match him up with number 12, Gilbert Burns. Like, I honestly don't even know why he accepted this fight. I think the only reason he accepted it was because Burns is also a high-level jiu-jitsu fighter, and he was willing to test himself against a fellow high-level jiu-jitsu fighter, which he's never had. But he shouldn't have taken this fight, man. It's just, I don't understand why fighters accept these fights. You're ranked so high. Why are you accepting such a low fight? Unless you really need the money, I don't know what the hell it is. The same thing with RDA. You know, RDA was ranked like number 5 or 6, and he took a fight with Michael Chiesa, who wasn't even ranked at welterweight. But it is what it is. Um, but yeah, man, I'm pretty bummed out about that loss. But it is what it is, and life goes on. Maia forever, baby.